Take a breath.
Tarun, Mr. Tarun.
Okay, quick, someone. Hit.
Do both. Do both.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimha. विजयनाथ नरसिंह भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सरस्वती वदेशी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सरस्वती श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रीला प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीपायपुर धाम की जय। गंगा मई की जय, यमुना मई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for attending this Saturday satsang, weekly satsang. Today we have a special devotee. Mataji, I forgot your name. Swapna. Okay, so you were here a couple of times before.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyways, let's all welcome her back by standing 3 times Hari Bol loudly. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Going forward from today onwards, now if you have any difficulty, please let me know. But I thought, based on some devotees' feedback, so we'll have from now 6:20, actually it's 6:24, but 6:20 to 6:30 we'll have one round of chanting. Okay, so since 6:30 we'll have our class. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Vansakalpatarjyasya Kripasiddhyasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. His Grace Simhesvara Prabhu ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu. So Tarun is going to distribute chanting beads to everyone. If you don't have chanting beads, please hold it on. You can keep and take it yourself. Okay, take the back. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
So we do one chanting. Okay.
One round chanting and then we will continue. Of course. Okay. We will try to do as synchronous as possible. Okay, but you can go with your own speed if you want to.
Take 5 minutes.
It'll take 7 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes to go synchronous. The objective is that everyone should participate. Okay, only chanting for 10 minutes. Transcendental vibration. Okay, too loud. Is it okay now? It's okay. That too loud? No. It's not loud. Okay. So, anyways, the objective is to chant. We'll do congregational. This is called congregational chanting. To keep our mind focused on Mahamantra, this is the transcendental vibration. Okay, so that there is no deviation. Even if we get deviated, so looking at others who are chanting, we'll get back our mind onto focus. Right, so that's the whole point. Okay, so let's hear what we chant. That is the whole purpose. Hear what we chant. That's all. Nothing else should go in our mind. Okay, so we'll try to do that. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gauravatavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, शील प्रपाद की जय। Do you all like it? Thank you very much. So now we'll continue with our session. Simhesvara Prabhu, please.
So we recite the words, right?
Yeah, 10, right? 10. No. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we have very good fortune. We have here His Grace Simhesvara Prabhu. He had come before, and we had requested him to come back again. So he honored our request. Thank you very much, Prabhu. On behalf of our Bensalem Bhakti Rucha, we would like to show gratitude by 3 times standing loudly, Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
And a little brief description about Simhesvara Prabhu. He is a second initiated disciple of His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. He is humbly serving all the devotees in the capacity of Sankirtan manager, Bhakti Vriksha lead, temple secretary, board member, and festival coordinator of ISKCON Central New Jersey. It's about 1 hour from here. And also he is conducting multiple Bhakti Vriksha in South Brunswick and Hillsborough area. He is hosting Bhagavad Gita classes every evening over Zoom, conducting Srimad Bhagavatham classes every Sunday morning. So he started his Krishna consciousness in 1997. That is how many years back?
26.
26 years. They are mathematicians. 26 years back. Thank you very much for your association. We have to get inspired, not 26 years, non-stop. So he then moved to US in 1998. He associated with Dallas. You know who is the DT name? Dallas? Haribol. Yes, Kalachandi. Kalachandi temple in 1998 up to 2001. Then he moved to New Jersey and then started associating with ISKCON of Central New Jersey. Currently he is living in South Brunswick, New Jersey with his family and is trying to serve devotees. So let's all welcome him again by chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Okay, so he'll be taking us into Srimad Bhagavatam. It is going to be the same verse as we discussed last week. So we'll dive more deeper into it. Verse number?
First canto, second chapter, canto.
Yes, first canto, second chapter, 10. Okay, thank you. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Very good. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna. That's all right. This way. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Guru. Hare Krishna. So, let's begin. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I think there's some static here. Is it okay? It's ready. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. It's good. It's good. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come here and meet you all. I came last time. So many people were here. Yeah. It's a great fortune to come here and to serve you all in one way or other. So it's my humble obeisances to all of you. So we'll begin without much further ado. So please, we'll sing the Jayarada Madhav. Okay. How many of you know that Jayarada Madhav? Jayarada Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jayarada Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Prajajanarana Yashodanandana Prajajanarana Yashodanandana Prajajanarana Yashodanandana Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
श्रीमद अभयचरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तराशद श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोविंद आदि श्याम कुंज राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की श्री गंगा मई यमुना मई की श्री भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की विराज श्रीमद भागवतम की विराज श्रीमद भगवत गीता की ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेद भक्त वृंद की all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please fold your hands.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Jaiva Narottamam
Naram Jaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tado Jayamudiraye
Tado Jayamudiraye
Nashtavrayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtavrayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtigim
bhaktir bhavati naitiki.
So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatham, first canto, second chapter, verse number 10. So you can have this in your iPhone. Everybody has it?
Yes, bro.
Please repeat after me. Kamasya
Kamasya
Indriya Prid
nindriya pritir
Labho
labho
Jiveta
jiveta
Yavada
yavata
Jivasya
jivasya
Tattva Jignasa
tattva jignasa
Nartho
nato
Yasceha
yasyeha
Karmabhi
karmabhihi
Kamasya Nendriya Pridir
kamasya nindriya pritir
Labho Jiveda Yavada
labho jiveta yavata
Jivasya Tattva Jignasa
jivasya tattva jignasa
Narto Yascega Karmabhi
nato yasyeha karmabhihi
Kamasya Nendriya Pridir
kamasya nindriya pritir
Labho Jiveda Yavada
labho jiveta yavata
Jivasya Tattva Jignasa
jivasya tattva jignasa
Narto Yascega Karmabhi
nato yasyeha karmabhihi
Kamasya Nendriya Pridir
kamasya nindriya pritir
Labho Jiveda Yavada
labho jiveta yavata
Jivasya Tattva Jignasa
jivasya tattva jignasa
Narto Yascega Karmabhi
nato yasyeha karmabhihi
कामस्य देत्रेय प्रीति
Kamasya Nendriya Pridir
अभो जीवेद यावता
Labho Jiveda Yavada
जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा
Jivasya Tattva Jignasa
आत्तो यच्चेह कर्मभिः
Nato Yascega Karmabhi
कामस्य नेन्द्रिया प्रीतिर
Kamasya Nendriya Pridir
लाभो जीवेत यावता
Labho Jiveda Yavada
जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा
Jivasya Tattva Jignasa
नार्तो यश्चेह कर्मभिः
Nato Yasceha Karmabhi
कामस्य कामस्य न इन्द्रिय प्रीति
Kamasya Nendriya Pridir
लाभो जीवेत यावता
Labho Jiveda Yavada
जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा
Jivasya Tattva Jignasa
नार्थो यच्चेह कर्मभिः
Narto Yasceha Karmabhi. Okay, so we'll go word by meaning. Synonyms. Kamasya,
कामस्य
of desires.
of desires
Na,
न
not.
not
Indriya,
इंद्रिय
senses.
senses
Pridihi,
प्रीतिः
satisfaction.
satisfaction
Labha,
लाभः
gain.
gain
Jiveta,
जीवेत
self-preservation.
self preservation
Yavada,
यावता
so much so.
समस्यो
Jivasya,
जीवस्य
of the living being.
of the living being
Tattva,
तत्त्व
the absolute truth.
the absolute truth
Jignasa,
जिज्ञासा
inquiries.
inquiries
Na,
न
not.
not
Arthaha,
अर्थः
end.
and
Yacha iha,
यश्च यः
whatsoever else.
whatsoever
Karmabhihi,
कर्मभिः
by occupational activities.
occupational activity.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Translation, please repeat after me. Life's desires
Life desires
should never be
should never be
directed towards sense gratification.
directed towards self gratification.
One should desire
One should desire
only a healthy life
only a healthy life,
or self-preservation.
all self preservation.
Since a human being
Since a human being
is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth,
is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth,
nothing else should be
nothing else should be
the goal of one's work.
goal of one's work.
Purport. The completely bewildered material civilization is wrongly directed towards the fulfillment of desires in the sense gratification. In such civilization, in all spheres of life, the ultimate end is sense gratification. In politics, in social service, altruism, philanthropy, and ultimately in religion or even in salvation. The very same tint of sense gratification is ever increasingly predominant. In the political field, the leaders of men fight with one another to fulfill their personal sense gratification. The voters adore the so-called leaders only when they promise sense gratification. As soon as the voters are dissatisfied in their own sense satisfaction, they dethrone the leaders. The leaders must always disappoint the voters by not satisfying their senses. The same is applicable in all other fields. No one is serious about the problems of life. Even those who are on the path of salvation desire to become one with the absolute truth and desire to commit spiritual suicide for sense gratification. But the Bhagavatam says that one should not live for sense gratification. One should satisfy the senses only in so much as required for the self-preservation, not for sense gratification. Because the body is made of senses, which also require a certain amount of satisfaction. There are regulative directions for satisfactions for such senses, but the senses are not meant for unrestricted enjoyment. For example, marriage or the combination of a man with a woman is necessary for progeny, but it is not meant for sense enjoyment. In the absence of voluntary restraint, there is propaganda for family planning, but foolish men do not know that family planning is automatically executed as soon as there is search after the absolute truth. Seekers of the absolute truth are never allured by unnecessary engagements in sense gratification, because the serious students seeking the absolute truth are always overwhelmed with the work of researching the truth in every sphere of life. Therefore, the ultimate end must be seeking after the absolute truth. And that sort of engagement will make one happy, because he will be less engaged in varieties of sense gratification. And what that absolute truth is explained as follows. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salagya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadadi Sapadantigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudhapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Regunadhanidam Dum Sachivam Sadhuidam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishakhanidamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimade Lokanath Swamidinamine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamidinamine Namaste Saraswata Devi Guruvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shrinyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Harihi Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to come before you, and it is my blessings, it's my good fortune that coming in front of you and able to say something, not because of my greatness or anything, but what I heard, what I learned during this time. And especially I'm very grateful for our dear Mukta Sangha Prabhu allowing me to come here and say something, few words, and like that many of you that come here. So this is a very wonderful topic. So as we all know that Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental science or spiritual science. So many of you must have heard about the science, right? Nowadays especially everybody wanted to see, what is the proof, what is the science, what science says about anything, right? Say science says something, okay, we say, okay, that's right, good, that I can take it. So like that, this Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental science or spiritual science. So this is none other than the Srimad Bhagavatam is directly manifested from the Lord. So we all know that. Anybody knows that? How this transcendental knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam came down to us? The origin or the beginning of it? Anybody knows? Right? Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adikave Muhyandi Surya. Right? Tene Brahma Hrudaya. It's in the first two words of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadiyasyedaha idadachapre sabhijnaswarar tene Brahma Hrudaya Adikave Muhyandi Surya. Tejovari Vinimaya Matras Tarko Amarsha Dhamna Swena Nirasta Bhugakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Srimad Bhagavatam is beginning with this word, this Janmadi Asya Yataha. Om Namo is starting. Srila Vyasadeva is beginning with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my respectful obeisance unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, son of Vasudeva, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam entirely beginning with it. And the first word of Srimad Bhagavatam is Janmati Asyataha. Anybody knows that where this word come from? Where this Janmati Asyataha? This is the word from Vedanta Sutra. And it's beginning with Janmadi Asyataha. Everything manifests from the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And it's ended with Satyam Param Dhimahi. I offer my respectful Lord. That Supreme Person, Supreme Lord, He is an absolute truth. He is a Supreme Personality, He is an absolute truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi. So the entire Srimad Bhagavatam goes and understanding to know that about that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the transcendental truth, the transcendental science, the spiritual science, all this. So Srimad Bhagavatam also explains the main 10 different subject matter. Everybody knows that? The 10 main subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra Sarga, Visargascha, Dhanam, Poshanam, Udaya, Manvandara, Oshanagata, Nirodha, Muktir, Asraya. This 10 subject matter. This Srimad Bhagavatam explains that. 10 subject matter. Atra Sarga, the primary creations. Atra Sarga, Sarga means primary creations, what is manifesting from the Lord. Visarga, the secondary creation, that's where the Brahma starts. Atra Sarga Visarga, Shasthanam Bhoshnamodaya, and position of the living entities. The constitutional position of the living entities. Poshanam, then maintenance of the living entities. Nodaya, the impetus of that, how the living entities can, come up. Then Manvandara Ishanugata. Manvandara means that how this entire material, entire cosmic creations are maintained. Manvandara. Ishanugata, the science of Lord. Isha means Ishvara. Ishvara, right? Ishvara means controller. So how this all controlled or controller of this all creations. Then Nirodha Mukti Asraya. Then finally, how one can liberate Mukti, liberation. And whom that and how we can get that liberation is actually Asraya, the final shelter of. Right? One can take the shelter of that Supreme Lord. Then one can liberate. So this is the main subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So here, we are coming here, Sudha Goswami. As we know that, the Kali Yuga was about to approach. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is disappeared. Kali Yuga was about to begin. Then thousands of sages assembled in Naimisharanya. And they thought that, yes, Kali Yuga is coming. And what is the best way to eradicate or relieve from this, the effects of Kali. Kali is full of miseries hypocrisy and quarrels and fight and short life and so many miseries and the problem. That's a symptom of Kali Yuga, and that we can see it now, right? And during the, it's spanned quite long years, but it's already started. It's the effect of Kali. People are earlier used to live like 100 plus years, but nowadays people are having so much of chronic diseases. People live 60 years, 50 years, and nowadays even people come to even child, like 5 years, 6 years old, have this problem of cholesterol. 5 years, 6-year-old child has this problem of, various diseases. And most of these children are actually coming, the autism, the chess problem. I think it's a big problem here in this world. Nobody is having, any kind of focused mind or steady mind. Nobody is happy at all in this world. When we can say that 99% of the people are so much in distress and unhappiness, misery, and they don't know what they are actually. They think that, everything that with this senses, mind and intelligence and the body, that's what is all just satisfied, that's what is the purpose of this life. So they think that, okay, just eat, make, sleep and defend, that's my duty. Just get up early in the morning, go to work, make some money, whatever the money which can buy, and come back and enjoy with it. And then go, then sleep, as much as you can. Get up whenever you want, right? It's no specific discipline in the life. But it was not like that before. Everything was very well explained it. That, okay, a person get up in the morning, what is the benefit of it? A person get up in the Brahma Muhurta, that means 1.5 hours or 90 minutes before the sunrise. It has a great benefit which creates, and even says that even one can develop his intelligence, one can develop his health, and one can also develop his overall attire and the look and the feel, and it can also enhance the beauty. Even one who gets up early in the morning, especially those who are looking for some handsomeness or beauty, so you can try this. If you get up early in the morning, it says that you get also that you look also nice and beauty and more charm. So like that, everything was very specifically cleared, everything, specifically mentioned. And so like that, but people are nowadays is not aware of any of those things. Those who are actually born with this cell phone, right? So everybody is now pretty much, all the children are born, getting birth with the cell phone. So as soon as they take birth, they get the cell phone in their hand, right? And the first thing they are learning is actually how to check the cell phone. Before even call their mom, they get this, or because of mom just put the cell phone near to the, the baby, and the baby gets this. Baby look at it, baby start to play with it, and the mom is happy, and the baby is also happy. But we don't know that what kind of consequences which creates, right? So this is the material world. So this is called sense gratification. So we are so busy, and in olden days people used to have so much of time for everything. And I remember when I was a child, my grandfather, every day this grandfather, they comes together in the evening in a home, they chant the holy name, they sing nicely, and they talk about Srimad Bhagavatham. I used to go with them every day, and it was so nice. And then, going every day, each day, every day, in somebody's home, and nice kirtan, nice bhajan, nice sangha, and, being with them, and they don't have anything else to speak. They didn't have, too much of TV time or too much of this mobile time. So now what is happening, everything is our fingertips. And then the entire world is opening to us. So completely illusion, completely forget ourselves that what is this purpose of our life. So that's why the Sudha Goswami in the Naimisharanya is revealing this, that Kali Yuga is coming. This is the effect of Kali anyway. So effect of Kali is started. So we can see that now at least some extent the people are aware of, at least to be some extent the God consciousness. But think about that after 100 years or 50 years or 100 years. Now artificial intelligence is in big, discussion, and every companies are trying to implement artificial intelligence. Then what is happening? Then robotics, right? Think about that. It's all just to satisfy our senses and robotics. Then every areas in the sphere of life that even just you don't need to even go anywhere. You just sit here and everything you will get it. Like you just want to just say it. Okay, I want glass of water. You just say it. Even you don't need to say even that. You just say your hands like this. Or you just gesture of it, drink something like that. You just sit here, everything you will get it. Because that's the world is going to become. So now what is happening, this civilization, which makes you very dull and dumb. So now robotics or the robots become so smart in the material realm, and all the humans are going to become so dull, even worse than the robot, even worse than the animal. Animals, at least they don't have a cell phone, they don't have TV, they don't have anything else, so they are happy with whatever their life. So we can see that even the humanity is going to become so worse, even than worse than animal. Because of all they wanted to do is actually now just make out of it, and all you need to do is sit somewhere and just look at it and things like that. Whenever you are hungry, you get, you just say food. Food will come in front of you. Or you just say that, something you said. This is the world is going to become. And think about that, what is going to happen to you? Your mind, your intelligence, your senses, all your working is actually, see, earlier, people, you are thoughtful. Like in olden days, people were so thoughtful. They at least used their brain. They were meditating, discussing and thoughtful. Like that's why in olden times, so much of great literatures, so much of scientific inventions, so much of wonderful paintings and Michelangelo, so much of wonderful, thoughtful books. And now what is coming up? Nothing is coming up. Maybe Harry Potter is coming up, right? Series of it. Maybe something else is coming up with it. That this is what the world is going to be. So initially, that's what is that people are mode of goodness or Sattva Guna. Then now Sattva Guna is almost diminishing, or the mode of goodness is now diminishing. Now what is happening, instead of mode of goodness, now mode of passion. Now we can see that so much of attachment, right? All these gadgets. This one, that one, this one, and this one, and that's what is all our life goes. And there our life goes just for this passion or this attachment. Because of when we are so mental, that's why people are so much suffering with their mental activities. They are suffering so much because they cannot even focus their mind, because of every moment they think that how I can satisfy my mind and the body, my, everything. So this is what it is. So this is happening now. So people who at some point of time are very good, thoughtful. Now people are not even thoughtful. Even calculation, even if you ask for the children, even when we were all children in school, we would by heart not all this, this mathematical calculations. Now you don't need to do that. Now you have a calculator, you just put the numbers, you get it. And if anybody asks you what is the 9 into 8, nobody can say that. Nowadays it's very difficult. Or those days we can say that 9 into 13, 13 into 9 or whatever, you can easily say that the number in our results. But if I ask you the children that what is the multiplication 13 by 9, they don't know. They just take a look at the calculator and they put it and they get the number. So this is that the world. So nothing is working now. The brain is not working, intelligence is not working. So the goodness part is gone. Now it is actually coming to the mode of passion, all the attachments. So what I can get, all the gadgets, I can satisfy, I can get this food and here and all. I remember one of our devotees, GBG member. He's in those days he was very rich. He was living in Mauritius or something like that. He was very rich. He became a very businessman, and he was stayed nearby a temple. And every day morning Mangalarati, there was a lot of sound. So this devotee now, that time he was a big businessman. He was very annoyed, with this sound coming from in the morning Mangalarati. So he filed a case. He's sitting in a case against ISKCON. And then he was like that. He was a very rich person. So just to have this breakfast, he chartered a flight. He come to New York, right? In order to have his lunch, he can go to Los Angeles just to have the lunch. And then to dinner, then he goes to another place. And this was his routine every day. So, but then he fed up with all these things. And later, somehow, by the mercy, even though he was living nearby this temple, because of maybe that influence of that, the holy name, he became a devotee. He's somehow, okay, let me go. I think devotees were so merciful, right? This is what is the greatness of the devotee. So devotees invited him for a one Janmashtami or something like that. He said, okay, what is the big deal? Let me go there. Let me go and participate in the Janmashtami festival. So he went there and he participated in the Janmashtami festival. Somehow it's actually, melted his heart a little bit and he got some prasadam. He says, wow, even though I am against with these devotees are so merciful, so compassionate. So they gave me some gift and this wonderful prasadam. So then he started to come to the temple, a little more and more. So then he transformed. And then he joined the, Srila Prabhupada's movement. And then he finally became a so wonderful devotee and he came to US and he is living in Texas right now and he is a great devotee of the Lord. He speaks very well and a couple of times he comes and he is also taking care of this GBC in the North America. So this is the association power. And people are so much into this material enjoyment or sense gratification, right? As we can come to that sense gratification, they completely lost themselves. They do not know what they are doing. So that's why it is very important that Srimad Bhagavatam gives the absolute truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi. Absolute truth, that the knowledge and absolute knowledge that which reveals the Srimad Bhagavatam. So sometimes what we are thinking that, sometimes we think that, okay, whatever we are getting from this world is mundane knowledge, that's everything. But we don't know that what is the real knowledge. Right? What is the real knowledge or absolute knowledge? So what we are learning is relative. What we are learning is something, okay, how to make money, how to live very comfortably, how to drive our car, how to go to the moon, how to go to the Mars. But it's again, at the end of the day, it's all sense gratification. Or as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, the purpose just to increase our ego, right? I did that, all the everything that we can see that is surrounded by this selfish, self-centric activities, nothing but. But we are here in this Sangha, or when we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we come to our real understanding. What is the real understanding? That's why in the Naimisharanya, that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is entirely beginning with that kind of thought, that to understand that who we are first. So, in the Naimisharanya, Sudha Goswami was addressing to the assembled, say, thousands of sages assembled. And they came together and the first thing that they were also like devotees, Paradukha Dukhi. They also wanted to see that how we can actually relieve the people from these clutches of this Maya or this material energy. So they were all assembled in Naimisharanya and they started a big sacrifice, big fire sacrifice. So for the benefit of the people. So big fire sacrifice. And that's the time then Sudha Goswami came and then they all stood up. Sudha Goswami was also participated and in the assembly of Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami was reciting and explaining the transcendental science, this absolute science. That's why it is says that Srunoda Sravana Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanam. Srunoda Sravana Krishna, that anything that which we hear about the Supreme Lord is Punya Sravanam. It purifies, eradicates all our impurities. Punya Sravana Kirtanam. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seviti. It can eradicate all our impurities. So when a person completely immersed from this, this mode of passion or this attachment and aggressiveness, just think about, his sense, how to satisfy my senses, right? How to satisfy my belly, how to satisfy my tongue, right? So Rupa Goswami was very clearly mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Vacho Vegam Manasa. In order to progress, in order to understand this, we have to control all this. Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jihva Vedam Udara Ubhasta Vegam Eda Vegan Yo Vishadeda Kama. So like that, see, every sane, every intelligent person will come to that understanding because we are wasting our time in this world in so many activities. So as we all know that in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself says that our life is considered as just a bubble in the water. Just a bubble in the water. Budbhuta. It's a word used called budbhut. Budbhut means bubble in the water. So, that the bubble comes like in a, waves and, you see that if you put some water, you can see the bubble. As soon as the bubble comes, it won't stay there for longer. Stay there for a little bit of time, it's break, it's burst. So, our life is like that. Don't think that, I'm going to live in this world for 100, 2000 years or I'm going to be here forever. So, but this as is mentioned that our human form of life is very rare to achieve. Out of 7 billion or all these populations of people around the world, that out of all this human form of life is very rare to achieve, very rare to achieve. So then again, that when we are not understanding our original constitutional position, then we are going to suffer more and more. And that's what we are going to see, that every day, every year, that more suffering than the previous years. And people were so much suffering nowadays because of they are also thinking what is going to happen next year, what is going to happen next 10 years or whatever. I mean, everybody is because of that stress. So nowadays, if you go to a physician for a test, they added another physical test, it's called stress test. You know that, right? Everybody knows that? Yes. There is a stress test, right? So your functions, your body functions based on that stress. If you have so much of stress, your body doesn't function properly, right? So you can get into so much of problems like heart attack and cholesterols and back pains and chest pains and acidity problems and digesting problems. So many things which leads to this stress. And pretty much, especially in this country, everybody is in one way or other way of the stress. Either with the stress from their children or from the stress from their family members, or in vice versa, in so many ways. It is mentioned that, don't laugh, actually it's mentioned that, the most actually in this country, the parents especially getting the stress from their children, right? So because of its different directions. So it is mentioned that the children were actually the enemies in their last life. So they came here to repay, all those things, give back to the parents, right? So this is what it is. So some way or other, so we are all going through these kinds of problems and nobody is happy. Why? And that's where we have to ask this question. That's where the Sudha Goswami is mentioning that everybody should ask this question. Adhito Brahma Gigyasa. This is called inquire about. That's the verse which says that. Inquire about that, what is our nature, what is our conscious position, what we are supposed to do and what is our nature in this world. So scriptures reveals very wonderfully the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatham and all. So as I mentioned, so we are all now in this mode of passion. So much of attachment, sense engagements and entanglement and material entanglements and gratifications and so many ways. So in the Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, Krishna says in the very clearly that Asyam Pachas Tadir Bhatir Kama Krodha Parayana Hande Kama Bhogartha Manyayarthena Sanchaya. So living entity, when they are into the demoniac, in the Asuric Bhav or in the demoniac qualities, so this attachment and the ignorance or mode of passion or the mode of ignorance or this Rajoguna and the Tamoguna is under the category of a demoniac qualities. So demoniac qualities that which leads to hellish life. So that we can see the demoniac qualities like passion and the ignorance which leads to the hellish life, demoniac life. So people are so much, 99 we can say that everybody is somewhere or other that fit into that. It's like a hellish life. We think that though we are having some beautiful happy life, but in reality it's not. So when you go to the doctor, then only when you do the stress test, then only you come to know that how much stress you have, so much problems you have. And you can see that 20 years, 30 years, 35 years, people have so much of problems. Everybody is somewhere or other medication, right? And this earlier in the 100 years or 50 years back, in the 10 miles or 15 miles or 50 miles there were maybe one hospital. Nowadays in 50 miles there are 50 hospitals. And even if you go to the hospital, you don't even get a bed. Recently in our Bhaktarisha, one devotee had the heart attack. And he was okay, he had some cholesterol issues, but he was not taking care much. And then all of a sudden when he has got up in the morning, and then he had so much of uneasiness, he cannot stand, walk, so much of burning in his stomach. And then what happened? So he went to his PCP and he went there and said, okay, then he called one of the relatives, a doctor, and said, okay, not wait, go to the emergency. So then they went to the emergency, they took the EKG and then found out that there were 3 blocks. One is complete, pretty much 100% blocked. There are 2 other and 70% is blocked. So then they could immediately then do this stent and then cleared one of the block. So the point is that we don't know what we are going through. He said, I was fine, I didn't have any problem, I always feel healthy and all those things. But we never know why it is happening, because we are completely not know that what a person is supposed to do in our day-to-day life. In our day-to-day life, we are completely with this attachment, so much of inclination towards satisfy our senses, eat that, go this hotel, go here, and untimely eating. Whenever I get it, I mean nowadays we see the people, they while driving the car they eat, while they walk they eat, while they drink, and see that obesity is a problem, and so much of problems that which we go through, and people does not know what they are trying to do. They are completely aloof from all this transcendental wonderful understanding. And then what happens? Then at a time that they are going to suffer for it. They are going to suffer for it. So that's why it is revealing to us, this transcendental knowledge is revealing to understand that what is our transcendental or conscious position, what we are supposed to do. So now, as I mentioned, so now the intelligent part, the mode of goodness is pretty much gone from from us. Now it is we are coming to the mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So we are acting and operating and executing everything as per these two things. Mode of passion, or either passion or ignorance mode. Either we don't know anything what to do, or another that we are so much attached to this material world. So this leads to the hellish life. That's why when this Sudha Goswami saw that this Kali Yuga is going to be like that. So what is the best remedy for it? So then they started this, and then Sudha Goswami came into that assembly, and then started the discussion, the conversation. So then Sudha Goswami was mentioning that just even hearing about the Supreme Lord itself can purify. Always remember this. It can purify. What is that purification means? Purification means that it takes us from this our ignorant mode, our ignorant nature, that not knowing anything. As we all know that our problem is that we are covered with lots of this ignorance and the attachment or impurities in our heart, right? It's called Hridaya Grandhi. Hridaya Grandhi means our weakness, right? Hridaya Grandhi, that means that we are so weak in everything. We cannot even take a decision, we cannot even talk properly, we are not confident. We are not healthy, we are not. Why? This is all because of we are Hridaya Grandhi, we are weak in our heart. Right? So when we are come in contact with this devotional or asking that what is our eternal constitutional position, what is our nature, then what we can happen? Then we slowly we can come out. We can come out of our big, it's like a thick layer of, think about that, when nuclear bomb is actually inside a shell, right? They have a thick layers of covering. So like that, the soul is covered with the billions of lifetimes of thick layer of these impurities. Very difficult to come out. I remember that in Radhanath Maharaj's journey home, there is a book. So Radhanath Maharaj was traveling 6 months. Radhanath Maharaj didn't take a bath. Just traveling and walking 6 months. So with the 6 months, so Maharaj got a thick layer of dirt on his body. So then finally came to take bath. So Maharaj was laughingly and smilingly telling this one, I was keep rubbing my body. I was keep rubbing and washing. It took 3 hours to clean his body, just to remove his dirt from his body. 3 hours. So then think about it, devotees, that we have been traveling, we have been in this material for billions of years. How much dirt which is accumulated in our heart, right? That's a thing which all comes to us. So because of that, but when we come in contact, so like with this devotional activities and understanding that what is our constitutional nature. So as we all know that, yes, we have body, we have gross body, we have subtle body, right? So we have gross body means it's made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Then subtle body or called Sushma Sharir. That is the body we have, that is called Sushma Sharir. One is Stula Sharir, another is Sushma Sharir. That's a subtle body, that's called Kam Mano Vittare or mind, intelligence and false ego. Then we come to our real identity, or real body is called our spiritual body, our spiritual identity. So don't think that, okay, we don't have anything, okay, everything is happening. because of this settle or this, this material. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumirapo nano vayu kam mano buddharevacha ahangaram idiyame bhinna prakrashtada. These are all my bhinna prakriti, inferior, separated energy. But Krishna also says that apareya midastvanyam prakritim vidime param. Apareya midastvanyam. This prakriti, this material nature, there is another nature. Prakritim vidime param. Jiva bhuta maha. These living entities are actually jiva bhuta mahabhagu dare jagat. That means they are beyond this material world. Jagat, beyond this material nature, beyond this material world. So these living entities are always beyond. That's why the living entities are known as marginal potency or tadastha shakti. Tada means shore, right? Tada means shore. So we are marginal potency of the tadastha shakti. We have an opportunity, we have a freedom that either we can select our spiritual nature or we can select our material nature. So that's why we call marginal. So actually the living entities are, as Krishna says, that we are belongs to the superior nature. We are, as Krishna says that Mamevamcha Jiva Loge Jiva Bussana. We are parcel of the Supreme Lord, that spiritual potency no matter what. So that's why we have, so Lord has eyes, Lord that we have eyes. Lord has hands, we have hands. Lord has legs, we have legs. Lord has brain and intelligence, we also have that. Everything Lord has, that's why we also have. Don't think that, okay, this is all just manifested from the ground. This intelligence is manifested from the ground. Don't think that is foolish, right? Or our eyes manifested from this ground. No. Our brain manifested from this ground, or our emotions manifested from the ground. Can any emotions come from the ground? So where does it come from? All these emotions, all these brains, all this intelligence, all this knowledge. That's why Krishna says that Satchidananda Vigraha. The Lord is Satchitananda, is eternal, full of knowledge, full of potency. And that's what we are also. We have knowledge. It's realized, it reveals in our heart, in our brain. It's all there. The knowledge is out there. Everything is out there. Senses are out there. It's not that just can any senses which comes out from the soil, from the land, from the water. Only little things, right? Nothing more. So everything has control, everything has a source, everything comes from this world. So that's why the Prabhupada says that life comes from the life. Right? Life comes from the life. It's not that anywhere. Life always comes from the life. So life, that supreme potency, the life is out there. That's why we are also here. We have this life. So we have to understand. But instead of understanding this, so we are completely engrossed into this material body, mind, intelligence and senses all the time. So we don't have any time to realize this. So that's why Sudha Goswami is mentioning that we should come to that point of self-realization. Ask this question, Atato Brahma Gigyasa, what is my nature? So when we come to that point of understanding what is my nature, Atato Brahma Gigyasa, right, then we can easily come out of it, and somehow slowly that we can come out of it understanding our constitutional nature. And what is that? When we come to that, the stage of that's called self-realization and science of self-realization. Srila Prabhupada wrote a very beautiful book called Science of Self-Realization. In that it's mentioned that when we come to that state, or when we come to that our spiritual state, or realizing that our spiritual state, right, that's our devotional state. Anybody come out of it and understanding this, they start to chant, they start to hear. And I was giving this in the third canto, 25th chapter, Kapila Devi is explaining the glories of devotional service. And 23rd verse, Kapila Devi is very beautifully explaining this one. One who is constantly chanting the glories of the holy name and constantly hearing and engaging in the thoughts of the Supreme Lord, they never, go through the miseries of this material world. They never go through the miseries. What are the miseries anyway? Right? What are the miseries? There are so many miseries we get. Three kinds of miseries primarily. Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Adibhavati. And out of this, and the worst is actually Adi-atmik. Right? What is Adhyatmik? We create our own. Right? We create all these miseries our own. There's lust, greed, anger, right? Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Manasik soul. That's our greatest enemy. That's our greatest miseries. So where it's come from? Because we don't have any connection, we don't have any union, any relationship with that the Supreme Lord or spiritual potency. Spiritual spark or spiritual potency has such a potency that it can eradicate everything, all this kalmasha. So we know that when the beginning of this Kali Yuga, Naradev went to Brahmadev, and Naradev and went to Brahmadev and asked, okay, Kali Yuga is, everybody is concerned about it, right? That Kali Yuga is coming and the world is going to become so much in misery and suffering. So they went to Brahmadev, Naradev, and requested to Brahmadev that, okay, Kali Yuga is coming, and what is the best solution? What is the best remedy that people can follow so that they can get liberation? Otherwise, nobody is going to get liberation. Everybody is going to suffer in this world. Everybody is going to bind in this world. Like Asha, Pashas, Tadir, Batir. Asha means desires. It's like a pash. It's like a rope. As soon as you have this material desires and hankering for this material enjoyment, we are binding ourselves into this material world. And we think that we get fulfilling happiness, but in long term, we are binding ourselves again into this material world, and then it's inviting all the miseries to our life. So as soon as we are in this material world, that means full of misery, as Krishna says, Ashachudam Kale. Anyway, it's full of misery. Nobody can say that I'm happy. It's a flickering happiness called Chapalasuk. Chapalasuk. And where does this Chapalasuk comes from? Our senses. As Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, 32nd chapter. Matras paschasta gaundeya sidoshna sukha dukkada agama vayino anityastam siddhakshosa bharata. O Arjuna, that this non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress is like a summer and winter. It comes and goes. It arises from the sense perceptions. This happiness and distress even arises from the sense perceptions. If you are so attached to the sense enjoyment, there's that much suffering we get it. That much distress that we get. As much as we are attached to this material enjoyment, that much of degree that we get back that the suffering. Right? Just for an example, if you just in the childhood, you must have climbed up a small tree like that, you jump down from there, you must have fallen down, but nothing affects. What happens if you climb up very, taller or higher, and then think that you fall down from there? What happens? Your suffering is, right, you can break your legs, hands, even you can die yourself, So similarly, as much as we hunger and engaging into this material activities or self-centric activities or selfish activities or sense enjoyments or sense gratification, what happens? That much degree that you will get back that the distress and misery. Don't think that I'm going to be free from it. Because of you are binding yourself into this material world with that degree of it. So what happens? Spiritual is entirely opposite to material anyway. So as long as you connect yourself with this material, you are going to suffer like that. That's the world it is. Some way or other. You may not be getting now, but you may get it later. There is a lot of stories like that, I think time is running out. Okay, so the point is, so Naradev went to Brahmadev and to ask about that, okay, what is the remedy, what is the solution? So then Brahmadev very clearly mentioned this one. And this is where exactly this mentioned Kali Santarnopadishat. Right? Kali Santarnopadishat. Brahma said to Naradev, if anybody chants this 16 syllables of this Shodashtakam Namnam, Kali Galmashanasana Nada Paradarupaya Sarva Vedesha Dashide. Which one is that 16 syllables Shodashtakam Namnam? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Idi Shodashtakam Namnam Kaligal Mashanasyanam. These 16 syllables of Hare Krishna Mahamantra eradicate all the Kaligal Masha. Kalmasha means it includes everything. Kalmasha in the Sanskrit is a big meaning. Kalmasha means all kinds of miseries, all kinds of problems. So similarly, as Kapila Dev mentioned that to Mother Devahuri, that one who is chanting this, constantly chanting this mantra, this holy name, one who is thoughtful, one who is always remember and engaging in the loving devotional service of the Supreme Lord, he will not be affected by this kalmasha. And even though it is there, and it will not be, he will not feel, he will not affect these miseries of this material world. So, this is the purpose of that. So the Goswami is revealing that, right? One has to come out of this sense enjoyment and inquire Atado Brahma Vigyasa. We have to inquire our consciousness position and inquire about that what we need to do as a human. Human has big responsibilities, not like animal. Human has big responsibility to realize the self, that identifying self, that who am I, what is my purpose, why I am here in this world, what is my eternal duty. So in this verse also, in this chapter also, Sudha Goswami says that the eternal duty of a person, Save Pumsha Paro Dharma, Yador Bhakti Radokshade, Ahetugi Apradikada, Yedatma Suprasidati. Save Pumsha Paro Dharma, of eternal duty. So like Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful example. Suppose if you are watering the root of a tree, what will happen? The entire tree get nourished. But instead of you are putting the water on a leaf, what will happen? It will just go away. Similarly, we think that okay, I just go here, I go here, go here, go here, Monday this one, Tuesday this one, and that one. This is all like watering on a leaf. We are not understanding. So that's why the watering the root of a tree is called a Bhakti Yoga. So as soon as we take up this holy name, as soon as we hear this Srimad Bhagavatam, associate with the devotees, engaging in loving devotional service, and utilizing our senses to engage in the loving devotional service, our ears to hear the glories of the Lord, eyes to see the beautiful form of the Lord, our hands to serve the devotees and engage in the divine devotion, our legs to go to the temple and serve, and comes together and serve each other and engage. It's all wonderful. That's the way that's called, that we are watering the root of a tree. Then what happens? The entire families, as mentioned there, right? The Narasimha day, when Prahlad Maharaj was so that Hiranyakashipu is killed, and then Lord even personally asked Prahlad Maharaj, ask me a boon, ask me a boon. So then Prahlad Maharaj said, no, I don't need to ask anything. It's not my devotion, or it's not by giving, take and take, give and take or anything like that. I don't need to ask. But Lord Narasimhadev insisted to Prahlad Maharaj, ask some boon. So then what Prahlad Maharaj requested or mentioned that, okay, please forgive my father that all his sins. This is a devotion. So what Lord Narasimhadev replied? What Lord Narasimhadev replied? 21 generations. 21 generations, not only that, coming and even 21 generations in the past, and even 21 generations which coming for in the future, they will be all get relieved, all get liberation. What is that liberation means? Liberation means if one who is come to that spiritual state, spiritual, devotional service, one who comes to that chanting the holy name, engaging the devotional service and sadhana bhakti, one who performs this sadhana bhakti is already liberated. Okay, that's called liberation. That means coming out from our material entanglement, coming out from our material state, coming out from our material conditioning. So when we start to chant and follow and faithfully, then what will happen? We all can come to that our spiritual state. That is called liberated state. Then we will progress further and further. Then we personally engage in the loving service of the Lord. But one who is able to come out from this material entanglement, this is not that what we are going to get, okay, I go here, I eat this one, I will get so much of things, but it's all just waste of, or it's a flickering trouble, so that's all we are having. But as soon as this human body is here, as long as we have this human body, that we should engaging in this loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So then we can come out of it. Otherwise, we will be ever for in this material world one after another. Right? Punaha charvida charvana. Chewing the chewed, right? Says that, right? Samsara chakra, this repeated birth and death, bhava sagara, bhava rog, so all this bhava means this material. So, but the spiritual, that as soon as we come in contact with this Krishna consciousness, it says that as soon as when you chant the holy name, when you clap your hands, there are thousands of birds sitting there. As soon as you clap, they just all flies away. Similarly, the moment you take this holy name, all these things which you are accumulated for thousands of years can go away. And then we can purify and we can come to our original consciousness. So like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that your mirror is covered with the dust. Cheto darpana marjanam. Right? Bahu maha bhavati nirvapanam prayasraya kairava chandrika vidaranam vidyavadu jivanam. Ananda ambudi vardhanam pradipadam purnamada purnamrada swadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayade Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Right? That when we chant this holy name, what happens? It eradicates the dust and of the mirror of our heart. Then we can clearly see ourselves. So this is called the science of Krishna consciousness. This is what Sudha Goswami is revealing to in the beginning itself. Then we can understand and progress more and more and more. Then we can understand the science of the transcendental science, the spiritual science, the Krishna consciousness. Everything then will make wonderful effect in our life. And then we will be like, suppose people are so much engaged in so much of they think that I will get so much of happiness. But the moment we come to that state and chant the holy name again, they can grow in such a way that you cannot even imagine that. It's like an ocean of bliss. This is what is the transcendental loving devotion, ocean of bliss. Okay? We all do, and what we have to, let me conclude. So the what we discuss today is actually all this material entanglement and activities are it's a futile. Give anything. It's at the end of the day, it's all big zeros, right? Sramahi evala kevalam. Just the sramahi evala. Just the waste of time. But the moment we engage either chanting or remembering and hearing, right? Sravana Kirtana, Vishnu Smarana, Pada Sevana, Archana Vandana Dasi Saki Atma Nivedana, any of that we take, it has a greatest tremendous effect in our life, right? Raja says that. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamade, Samprapti Sanihide Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrem Karane. At the time of death, nothing else will save you. Govindam, oh fool! Shankaracharya used this word, oh fool! Chant the holy name of Govinda. Govindam Bhaja Mudamade, Samprapte Sani. At the time of death, nothing else can save you. Only this holy name, only the Rama, only the devotion. This is eternal and spiritual. This is nothing to do with material. Anything that which we do in service of the Lord, this is completely spiritual. So this is the essence of, and we have to come to that state even for the progress into. So we have to always inquire, always engage, and always practice this loving devotion service with the devotees. And whatever the opportunities we have, don't miss this. This is our greatest fortune. Greatest of fortune that we have devotee association. Greatest of our fortune. As soon as only by the mercy of devotees we can come out of it. So always try to associate with the devotees, and especially beautiful Sangha over here. Bensalem and so all wonderful devotees are here, and many devotees are putting their efforts, cooking, and they are compassionate. They are very, Paraduk, they are compassionate to other living entities. And they are coming and they could go on enjoy or entangle in so many material activities, watch a Netflix or TV or the movie or whatever it is. But here and comes there and engaging everybody in such a nice way too in the devotional service. So everything counts. Lord sees this. Lord is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. Lord sees the heart of each and every devotee. And this is work that we all can eradicate and we can eternally come to that our spiritual realm or spiritual state or our transcendental Krishna conscious state. That's our eternal nature. Spiritual nature is our original nature. Not that we, that is a, what is called like somebody, have you seen a haunted person? Have you seen a haunted person? Yeah. How does a haunted person behave? There is no connection between anything what he says, anything what he does. That's what is our condition we are. Like a drunkard person. He is completely drunk, and then somebody go and ask him, okay, are you alright? He says, I'm alright. But he is completely drunkard, and that other person can see that he is completely drunkard. Our condition is like that. It's called bhavarog. It's called bhavarog. So somebody else has to tell that, okay, you are going through this problem. Doctor has to say you are going through this problem. Like that, devotees are the spiritual doctors in this world. The spiritual doctors, they can see that, what is the problem in each of this material, right? So they can see it. So then the spiritual doctors can tell, do this, do this. That's the spiritual master's this. Do this, chant this holy name so he can come out of this bhavarog. So this is very important. So it's very, very important that we take up this and understand this transcendental science, put ourselves and engage in the loving devotion service so that we can progress in some way or other. So let me stop here with this thought. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Viraj Srimad Bhagavatham ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nanda Gaudiya Vaishnava ki, Guru Premanande. Don't know whether there is a time for anybody has any questions or comments or concerns. Or
Any questions?
Thank you, Prabhu. Very wonderful. also explained really, it's really a nice class. You're talking about lots of things, our real duty, real life, what is this thing. But is it like, the Prahlad Maharaj already explained that he says 21 generations back and forth. But devotee has also said like this, like if you have one devotee in your generation, might be he can divide it
14 generation.
Okay, then if it's 14 generation, might be someone is not really, that's religious or something, nothing. He don't know about anything. Someone is like that, in might be my family or some person is like that.
Yeah.
How about?
Yeah, this is what it is. So people, 14 generations coming, 14 generations in the past. Definitely, the past, those who are in the past, those who are already passed away, they get liberation, no matter what. Because of many families, some families when they moved to a new house, there was some kind of problems in their family, like Pitru Dosha, right? You said about this? Pitru Dosh, somebody does this, all these things. So people do those Shraddha here and there, every year and there. But the best remedy, best solution is that if one person, that family as a devotee, then naturally, eventually they realize that all their problems are actually eventually eradicated, get rid of it. That's in the past. So in the future, those who are coming in the family, so as we know that Krishna says that, right? Those who is coming into the family of a devotee, very self-realized devotees, right? Those who are coming, so Krishna makes sure that such families flourishes with the Krishna consciousness, such families flourishes with no calamities like chronic diseases like sudden accidents or fire or theft, like snake bite. These are all the dosha. These are all because of sinful reactions, like somebody accidentally dies, or accidents happens, or heart attacks comes, like that. So much of things can happen in their life. So that will be also subdued. That means Lord will take care of such instances, such situations. It doesn't mean that some devotee's life, things like that. But it will be all taken care of the Lord. Even though then it's Lord's promise that if somebody is in the family, they will all attain eventually that liberation. So even though there is not Shraddha done properly, even though there is no proper rituals done properly, but everybody gets that Lord's mercy, that somehow they can progress, they will get the birth, association of a devotee. Like otherwise, think about that, even 7 billion people, 7.5 billion people in the world, out of how many chances, how many knows actually really the God. So they are all engaged, eating, meeting and all these things and so much of sinful activities. So they will be also at least relieved from such sinful activities. So eventually they get an opportunity to liberate themselves. So even Lord promised that liberation means that they will be completely free from the material entanglement, and some way or other they will come to that opportunity to associate with the devotees, that they develop Krishna consciousness. So Lord makes sure, and we see that as well. In our Bhakti Risha, and one devotee, I would say that he was smoking, he was drinking, and almost 10 years he got married and they didn't have any children. They were suffering like anything. And they came further after they moved over here in New Jersey, and they started to come to our Bhakti Risha. Somehow I met, we are distributing books. But that Mataji got his Bhagavad and said, we have Bhakti Risha, please come over. And just out of curiosity came. They developed that interest, and then after a year, that Mataji got, pregnant, and then they had a son, and then after that. So all this time, this Mataji was hearing this, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatham, and then started to inquire a lot and what to do. And then then also this Prabhuji also came, and he was drinking, smoking, so many things. He also started to attend the Bhakti Risha. Then what happened? Then he also completely, avoided everything, all these bad habits. And then he also started to engage, and then that's the time, they get this child. This child, as soon as his child taken birth, he started to worship the Lord. He has these deities at home, they were so also. And then both of them, that completely now, like a surrender to the Lord kind of, that every time their home is completely transformed to like a temple. And they are so much engaged. And then what happens? When this child, 3.5 years old, right, he started to learn. When he was 4.5 years old, this child He was by-hearted entire 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, entire 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, 4.5 years old. And the next child came. Okay, that daughter also got by-hearted the 700 verses of the sloka, and everybody, and their family is like that. See that the transformation, and why? Because of even their parents were actually, were nicely, devoted. So even though they went through little path, but somehow or other, they all can come. Then think about that generations comes, right? So then generations comes also that they get this offer. Somehow or other they have this. Now they moved to Texas. They both get first and second initiation from the Giriraj Maharaj. And they are now serving in the temple and almost full time. They just live very close to the temple. This is the example of it. There are so many examples says. Lord takes care of. See, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 40th verse. Now says like this. Neho vikrama nasosti pratyavayo na vidyade swalpam abhyasya dharmasya trayado mahadobhaya. Even little bit. Even one practices, never lost. Right? And they will be relieved from the greatest danger. That's it. Swalpam abhyasya dharmasya. Even little bit. Swalpam abhyasya dharmasya trayado mahadobhaya. That means they can be relieved from the greatest. What is the greatest danger? That means not getting a human birth in the next life is the greatest danger. Think about that. You lost your human life. We don't know, never we are going to get. But as soon as we get this human form, at least Krishna will make sure that, right? Krishna will make sure that devotee gets that opportunity. That's why Krishna says to Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, declare it very boldly." What Krishna said to Arjuna? Declare it very boldly that Name Bhaktiya Pranakshati. My devotees never perish. So that's what it is. Even we chant a holy name, that's eternal. It is there in our account. Even we chant the holy name, that never we are going to, like it's mentioned that one we chant the pure holy name, then we are never going to get an animal or lower species of life. It's guaranteed. So then think about that Lord's promise, a devotee in the family, so it spreads everywhere. And their tree, so as it's mentioned that, when a devotee, there's in the family tree, there are many branches, many branches and twigs and the trees and the leaves, right? So when you put the water on the root of a tree, all the branches, all the twigs, all the leaves, everybody get the benefit.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah?
Bro, I'm sorry, I have another just little tiny question. I see lots of, I just visited lots of temples. Some people I see, they are servicing the temple different, the servicing. Let's say, and also to get the association with the lots of devotees.
Yes.
But they don't understand what is the reality. Long time there is the end of the life. Almost might be. I saw some people almost 80 years, 85 years, they're serving the temple. But I know the Mahaprabhu already say, Jaradel ko tale ka Krishna. I tried. I think I don't know why there is a lots of senior devotees also there. They do not tell them nothing. I see myself, but I already tried to tell them. Do you know this? The Prabhupada already told them that without spiritual master, you can't get mercy of the Bhagavad, means Krishna. Then I tell them, okay, try to the chanting the Hare Krishna mantra means in the beat. At least try to fast this one, but they don't hear nothing.
They don't?
They don't hear nothing. They say, no, I'm just chanting like this, Hare Krishna like this, not in the beat.
Yeah.
But also they do not get any spiritual master. Long time they are in the servicing in the temple. I don't know what is. I believe that the Prabhupada whatever said is everything is perfect, everything is clear.
Yes.
But the devotee association is powerful. But they get all the time. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's we can say in the different ways that, right? I mean, some devotees or some people when they come, it takes long years for them. That's their karma and all, right? It's not that destined that okay immediately that. It's not that. It's everything is a very unique. Everything that happens to that each devotee is very unique because of the way that developed, that the impurities that they have. It's not that then they just chant the holy name. Everything is no. They may not be even their consciousness may not be there yet, right? They may be still stuck with this mental or material problems. They're stuck with their day-to-day things and there's so much thought. Their minds are not there anyway. That's why. See, that's why it's the purity happens. The purity is the force. Right? So purity is the force. So when they're purified, our hearts, our mind all gets purified. How? When? Right? when we also put ourselves to that such extent, right? That's why it says that when we come into the temple, we worship, we should, always engage 100%, right? We should put ourselves in 100% such a way that, so that we get maximum benefit of it, that it purifies us. See, Krishna says, Ye yada mam prapadyante stam sadaiva bhajamiham mama vartamanu vartante manishipasa. I reward them accordingly how they approach me. If we are sincere, okay, our deal, or every, even bhakti, or dealing with other devotees is all sincere, but it's all completely covered with so much of desires, or the lust, and so many things, that things won't get into properly, things won't get, that devotee may not understand properly. It takes some time, but eventually will come. It doesn't mean that he is lost. Even we say that, chanting the holy name, there are 3 ways. There is Shuddhanam, there is Namabhas, and then Namaparat, right? So when a person can attain quickly if he chants the holy name very purely. But it takes time if you do the Namabhas and Namaparat. But there is an effect. There is an effect. Anyway, we should appreciate such devotees that they are at least coming, they are at least chanting the holy name. We don't know what is their problem. They may be going through so many other things, right? So it's always good that we see that they are chanting, they are coming, they are engaged in the devotional service. So we should also, some way or other, whatever the way they want. We may say that chant, but if they don't able to chant, fine, that's absolutely fine. So we should encourage them, we should support them, we should, love them and take care of them. That's our nature. Then naturally it will all come. It's not that, that okay, when we come here, okay, we develop, we progress a little bit, okay, now we try. That's our duty, we try. But it's not in our hand, as Krishna says. So only what we can do is actually we try ourselves maximum. The rest is Krishna. Depends on that how that devotee needs to get into. That rest is coming from Krishna. Very good, very Krishna. Thank you for all the questions.
Anybody else? Questions? Reflections from this session? Quickly? 1 point? No one? How you know?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then Pranam Sir.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice class. In fact, the way you started is like recapping from the very first session. I was like, oh, we heard this, but still you feel nice to hear again and again, and that's the power of Krishna Katha. And then one of the main reflection is, it's like, it's an open fact that we all know that yes, Kali Yuga is like this. There's no need to worry about it. It's like we are already in the well or anything.
Yeah.
But the good part is, Krishna is assuring that that is how it is, but still here is the solution.
Yeah.
And it's all up to us how much we remember that and we take it.
Yes.
So, because when we speak to some of the friends and, oh, this is where, this violence, this is happening. I'm like, are you trying to scare or what? It's not like scare, but then just when you were telling that, I was like, yeah, so what now? But we know the solution, so you should think that positive side of it.
Yeah.
So the way you put it in the later of the class, I felt that was my reflection. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad
Dandavad Pranam.
Very wonderful session, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you.
The reflection I've from the session I got is so how like every day we do different things and we're always thinking what we are doing is right, but whatever we are doing is not at all right, and it's not leading to spirituality or goodness. It's all in between passion and ignorance still. We come to the session every week, Prabhu, and every week, like I feel like we are still in the first chapter, but every chapter, every verse they say, it somehow reflects the same thing. Like I feel like it's all the same thing. It tells the same words, like same meaning, but we're still like learning something new in every verse.
Yes.
Every verse.
Yes.
So today, like what I've got is like how you brought like how Kali Yuga came and how things are changing. I just wanted to share one example. So I work in healthcare, Prabhuji. So first of all, when I was working in India, we never know about. We learn about depression, things like that, but we do not see like when you go to a doctor, they don't ask you whether you have depression unless we mention something.
Yeah.
So first time I went to, when I was pregnant, when I went to a doctor, they gave me a form like fill up your, and the first question is, are you depressed, are you stressed, are you worried? So I was thinking like, why is the doctor asking me this? Like, why is this form given to me? Then I was like learning more about the healthcare system here. So that is like included in the thing, like, okay, once you reach certain age, these are the questionnaire you have to get. So recently, like 2 years back, my daughter is 10 years old. They gave the same form for my 10-year-old daughter. I was so shocked at the pediatrician office. So I went and asked, like, why are you giving this form to my daughter? She's only 10 years. And they asked her to answer, not as a parent, me to answer. So that actually like changed my mind. Like, see, it was 20 years or 18 years before. Now it's a 10-year. They have to answer the same questions. Why are they stressed, or are they depressed, or whatever the questions. So like that's what I felt like, how things are changing so fastly. Today might be 10 years. Probably next, like they'll be like 5 years, 1 year. They'll ask, is your child stressed? Is he worried?
Yeah, 1 year, yes.
1 year in future. So I was thinking in my mind that day when I went for that appointment, I still have that in my mind, like what is happening in future, like how you mentioned how things are changing and how Kali is affecting us.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So that is what I remember today.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
such a wonderful
Thank you.
realization.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today I learned that Krishna will somehow make you come into Krishna consciousness no matter where you are. Like, he'll somehow get you and he'll make you try to get yourself liberated.
Yes, that's true. Absolutely right. Yes. So remember always that this is our greatest fortune, and the Lord makes this arrangement that we all can come together. See, there Krishna is, there is in Srimad Bhagavatham, there is a section in the last. Krishna was telling to Gopakumar, I think how many of you read this one? Srimad Bhagavatham? Anybody? Anybody heard this book?
Yes,
You have that too?
but I have not read it.
Yeah. Just read it, it's a beautiful book, wonderful book. There's a beautiful pastime, Sanatana Goswami is compiled this beautiful one. There's a devotee called Gopakumar. I mean, it's a big book, okay. And Gopakumar was traveling, journeying from lower plane to the highest, and one after another, one after another, one after. He was not happy in anywhere, like, going, even went to Vaikuntha. He saw that, Lord is so served so nicely, and, opulences and reverence and everything. And then Gopakumar had to wait to see the Lord. And then also Gopakumar, even though Vaikuntha, then what happens? Little that he say that I was missing something. So then Uddhava was there. Uddhava took this Gopakumar to the Goloka Vrindavan. And there, Krishna was just coming in the evening. Goloka Vrindavan is the wonderful pastimes manifest there every day. Then the Gopakumar was just coming back. And so Krishna was coming back with all his cows. And that's the time Krishna saw this Gopakumar is in Goloka Vrindavan. And Krishna then, as soon as see that Gopakumar, Krishna even fainted down because of that ecstasy and, cries and tears comes out. Gopakumar also fainted down and cries and coming out from the, eyes of it. They then couldn't come out of it, then after some time with that ecstasy of seeing each other. And then Krishna embraced Gopakumar and Gopakumar embraced Krishna. And then this is the most important to remember. And Krishna said, every lifetime I was looking at you, and when you are turning towards me, and when you are not turning towards me, I was so disappointed. Right? I was so disappointed. Every lifetime I was looking at you. At least this lifetime you will turn towards me. Then I was so disappointed. So the moment we turn towards Krishna, as Krishna says, if we take one step, Krishna takes 100 steps towards us. So that's what it is, we are very fortunate that we are here, that if you take one step, Krishna will make sure that we get that opportunity and progress. So that's why, we should thank our Prabhuji, making all this wonderful, progress, and all these wonderful devotees helping each other to create. It's not necessary that we should go to a temple or anything. The most important thing is devotee association. Then especially in this, age of Kali. So, I can say a lot of things, but I know there is a time limit is there. So it's very important, right? So we will be all grateful, and we should be always grateful for even little bit that Krishna conscious we get in our life. Even somebody says to you that okay, chant the holy name, remember that devotee. If somebody comes and give you some prasadam, remember that devotee. That devotee may be in the form of Krishna, or Krishna is coming in that form. Okay, Krishna is coming in that form to take you back. So this is the beginning, and even that Gopakumar was in Vrindavan, in our Goloka Vrindavan. So one day a person came in front of him and told, okay, gave a mantra, chant this mantra. So Gopakumar did all this, started to chant this mantra. Then all the transformation taken place, and he could go to different, universe, different plane. And even because of that mantra, he could go to the heavenly, this Goloka Vrindavan. Then finally revealed that to Krishna, revealed to that Gopakumar, I was the one who came as in the form of Guru. So this is what it is. So we don't know, right? The Guru comes, maybe the Guru or the devotees that Krishna is empowering him, okay, go to this devotee and tell, or this devotee will tell to you, okay, come to this program, come to this satsanga, have this prasadam, or take this book. So this devotee, come in the form is Krishna is empowering such devotees to come, to that. So they are all, Guru is actually, it says that, right? So Guru is actually for coming down here in this world for us, or the devotees are coming for us like fallen tradition soul, to take us back. So it's very, very important. So always be grateful for the such devotees, and that if somebody gives you prasadam, book, or opportunity, or organizing, or giving something, because of this is the greatest moment in our life. What is that? Says that sadhu sangha, sarva shastraka, leva matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhikaya. Sarva siddhi, even a moment of association with a devotee, it can completely gives you all this, sarva siddhi. Siddhi means, that siddhi, lot of siddhi we heard about, right? Ashtanga siddhi. But this is sarva siddhi. Okay? Not ashtanga, not limited to 8, but sarva siddhi. What is that sarva siddhi? We can attain that supreme law. Okay? So it's very, very important. Okay.
Anyone else?
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This is my first time coming to this.
Oh wow, wonderful, welcome. See,
so
that's what you are exactly what you are saying that.
I was debating if I should ask that question, and they answered that I just felt like you read my mind just before, because I believe that without God's calling, you don't come to His presence. Okay, I strongly believe that. So today we were just at the groceries, and I want to thank RK that he invited us for this one. He's our family friend, and I always have been pulled towards God, and then we do prayer every day at home. It's not that we don't. Yeah. It's not like really going to the temple, but we do pray as in God-fearing people. But especially with Krishna, I have this association. I would say 20 years back, like when I was in London, like I used to go to Hare Krishna temple, or whenever I feel like very disturbed, I used to go there. So that's how I got associated to the Hare Krishna thing. But since then, I don't know, like, the time is not right for me. I just feel like I do come to the temple, I feel the bliss, and then I just get back into the worldly things, and then I forget, right? So I was just gonna say, all I can say is thank you that I was able to come to the session today. So hopefully I can continue this.
Of
we'll
course.
see. But also I wanted to ask you one thing. For someone like me, who I always have a great desire to learn Bhagavad Gita, and I believe that to really understand Bhagavad Gita, you really need a guru, right? Otherwise, your interpretation may not be the right interpretation, right? So, and I felt, I don't know where I'm going to get this guru who can really teach me this. And then at one point I said, you know what, I should starting learning Sanskrit. Like I wanted to understand the Sanskrit, have master Sanskrit, and then go for Bhagavad Gita. Or maybe, I don't know, that's what I was debating, like how do I get to Bhagavad Gita? Should I start with Sanskrit and then learn by myself and really interpret? Or should I wait for a guru to really
You don't need to worry.
teach me that. So
See,
anyway, that's my.
we already have a guru. So you have the Bhagavad Gita Asati, Srila Prabhupada book. You have?
Yeah, I do.
You do have.
Yeah.
That's more than enough. You don't need to go for, because it's all translated to English. And except that's why Asati is original, right? Or that Sanskrit is translated to English. You don't need to go and waste time to learn the Sanskrit and scholarly things. Everything is very beautifully explained in Bhagavad Gita. So I think many of you are here, just read the Bhagavad Gita and transform your life. And that's my case actually. Right? Just I had Bhagavad Gita before I read Bhagavad Gita, but when I was in Mumbai, I got this Bhagavad Gita as it is, this one. I have this. This is a very old book. Still I keep this one. It's very rare to have it, this Bhagavad Gita. As I got the Srila Prabhupada's 150th centennial, anniversary, I was getting 50% of discount, and I mentioned that, I just wrote it here. By the mercy of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, and by book, my life changed completely towards it, this one book. So all you need is actually your devotion, your sincere, to read from the beginning to end. So when I got this book, I started to read, within 3 months I read 3 times Bhagavad Gita. 3 times, it was so interesting. So all the books, if you take this one, Bhagavad Gita, see each words, see this one, there is Sanskrit. And also pronunciation is there in English, so you don't lose anything. Okay? Then you have the word by word meaning. You will learn Sanskrit by reading this Bhagavad Gita. You don't need to go separately. Okay? If you go word by word meaning, then that is broken, and each word is broken, and then the English translation and English meaning of it. So you will learn. This is everything. That you can learn Sanskrit, you can even English, even from Bhagavad Gita very well. And many devotees mention that English has become so wonderful because of reading Bhagavad Gita. This is a wonderful English, beautiful English of Srila Prabhupada. Then you get the meaning of it, the translation of that exact Sanskrit words. Okay? The translation. Then you have the purport. That means that's the Guru comes in picture. So you take that Srila Prabhupada is your Guru. Okay? So the purport is there. So Srila Prabhupada is explained what is that meant for that verse. Okay, so you don't need anything else. All you need right now is start to read this Bhagavad Gita, then you will have proper understanding of all this transcendental science. Okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Yeah, we were just shopping, my wife and I, so we came here. 2 things. I think when you read, I read Bhagavad Gita, I learned only 2 adhyayas, 14th and 17th. When I was 10 years old, I still have Bhagavad Gita, I read them. But what I learned is that, what I was taught is that when you read it, you should not read the verse, right? The Sanskrit verse. You should pronounce it correctly. So that is where I believe my wife, she's talking about that you need Guru. Because if I go read that book and pronounce it wrong, it's wrong. It's like I feel that is how it should not be read. Is that correct?
No, it's not correct.
It's not correct.
So there was an incident in Sri Lanka. There was one Brahmana, and he was not so well, he was not pronouncing the Sanskrit verses correctly. So he had this Bhagavad Gita, so he opened this book, and there were many other scholars were around. So they can very clearly, very well that they can pronounce this Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So whenever this Brahmana, poor Brahmana was reciting this Bhagavad Gita, they will laugh at him. Okay, I'm not so. But when this Brahmana was reading this Bhagavad Gita, his tears come from his eyes. Okay? It's not that because of others are teaching, he doesn't care about it. But so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord came there and saw that, and this came to this poor Brahmana and asked, and then he saw the scene and told. He said, why are you crying actually? So why are you, when you have the Bhagavad Gita and you read it, why are you crying it? So he said that, he looked at the Bhagavad Gita and said that, look at that, the Lord is the Supreme Lord, He is sitting on the chariot of Arjuna. So in the battlefield, when you ride the chariot, when you take the chariot, they don't speak by the words because so much of sound. So in order, if the chariot has to go to the right, then the charioteer or the Arjuna has to put his leg on the Krishna's shoulder to go to right. If he goes to the left, he has to put the leg on the left side, so he has to go to the left. So then we have to go to the front, he has to push on the shoulder of in the back side of Krishna. So this Brahmana was understanding that yes, this is what is Krishna was even ready to take this kind of this all from this devotees. Krishna doesn't mind. So this Brahmana was saying to the Lord that okay, when I remember this, this devotee, this Krishna is taking even how much he loves his devotees. So in remembering this, tears are coming down from my eyes. So Lord said that yes, you properly understand what is Bhagavad Gita is. It's not that we are so much scholarly and pronounce it correctly. So yes, Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. Krishna is seated in our heart. It's not that okay, if you mistake something or pronounce incorrect. I mean, yes, possible we should pronounce rightly, but it's not that anything that which prevents us from the going further in devotion. This Bhagavad Gita is translated into English for the English-speaking people. Right? Yes, we are in India, they don't have any translation. They go there and sit there and recite these verses, but they don't understand any meaning of Bhagavad Gita and the verses of it. What is the use of it? It's like a parrot, right? Parrot can do this. Okay, if we tell to the parrot, okay, pronounce this correctly, parrot can, but what is the use of it? They get the benefit anyway, even if you pronounce Bhagavad Gita words, it has tremendous effect. But the meaning of Bhagavad Gita is not that. 45 minutes Krishna told to Arjuna to understand that's the essence of Bhagavad Gita, all of us. So we have to understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. What first, that's why Srila Prabhupada took such a time to translate in English and the long purport of it and explains that. So most important is, many devotees does this pronounce, but the first and the foremost things that we all need to have is actually, don't worry about pronunciation, Sanskrit, anything like that. Go and read Bhagavad Gita completely. Then we'll understand that what is the first thing to do. Without understanding what Lord said and what is meant by Bhagavad Gita, what is the use of this Sanskrit pronunciation? There's no use. I mean, especially that in real sense. So when we understand the essence of this, a transcendental science. It talks about the nature. It talks about this Prakriti. It talks about the living entity, the spirit soul. It talks about the Ishvara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It talks about that our activities, what activities we are supposed to do. That is the first thing. These are the ABCDs. This is the first thing to learn. How do we live day-to-day life? This is the art of living. This is an art of dying too. Not only that, art of living and art of living. Okay? Right? Not only that. This Bhagavad Gita tells us that. How we should live. And if we don't understand all these things, and what is the use? Just waste our life, right? It's not wasting, but it gets a benefit. But the most important thing to understand what Krishna spoke, either in Hebrew, either in Urdu, or either in Arabian or Chinese or whatever. See, Bhagavad Gita is translated in almost all language. They don't much. The main thing is to understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna spoke to Arjuna. And then the Guru comes in picture. Guru explains that very well. That's what is all we need. That remember that Srila Prabhupada before we read, and then read the Bhagavad Gita. Then it transforms your life. That's what it is.
I think great suggestion there, because as I said, I've been reading Bhagavad Gita for 10 years. That every day I read a verse or something. But again, going back to the reflection which you said, somebody helps you, somebody gives you prasad or something. So it goes to one serial in Om Namah Shivaya, wherein Andhakasura, the child of Shiva, he says, at last Shiva kills him because he was doing something bad or whatever it is. When Andhakasura comes to him and says, I'm your son, why did you not teach me? So Shiva answers him saying that, yes, I've been teaching you from when you were born, but I didn't come directly to you. I came in the form of your mother, I came in the form of your wife, I came in the form of your multiple things, but you didn't listen. Yes. I've been telling you, you didn't listen, but this is where you are, right?
Yes.
So this is, I think, my not reading, I think I lost 30 years, maybe this is a good thing to learn.
Yes.
Thanks.
Please, thank you. That's very wonderful. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. please start to read Bhagavad Gita and whatever the possible ways. It helps a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Wonderful, with so much practical examples. And again, please, 3 times Haribol to Prabhuji for taking all the effort coming from New Jersey. Haribol. Thank you very much, Prabhu. And also, thank you for coming. And your good name, please? Venkatraman.
Saugandhika.
Saugandhika. So Venkatraman Prabhu and Saugandhika Mataji. Thank you very much, Prabhu, Rama Prabhu, for getting them. So let's chant 3 times loudly, Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Actually, my reflection, I have to share that because you were stressing on the point, right? Stress. Wherever you go, stress, stress, stress. I already shared this information in our Bensalem Bhakti Vriksha that my manager, current manager, who was my manager, we both went to India about a month back. And he's very young actually, he didn't have any disease, he's 38 years old, he's a good friend of mine. He came to Tulsi Vivah also, many of you have seen him. So as soon as he landed there, 3 days after, he passed away because of heart attack. Okay, he was just 38 years old. And he didn't have any ailments before, no family history, nothing. The only thing I visualized that at work, he was taking too much stress. Okay, so that might be the factor that within actually 30 seconds, 1 minute he passed away. Okay, because he had acute heart attack. So probably he was stressing, right, that the stress is the main factor now. And you also told 10 years old, they have to go through that. It's very precarious actually. So that's my reflection.
Oh, of course, yes, it's very important. So this way, see, as we all know that, even we little bit sit there and this focus on this holy name mantra, you know how much is released as a stress from our body? It gives a wonderful, in the scientific term or in a healthcare, it gives a very wonderful hormones in our, it gives a, you know the happy hormone, have somebody about here? Happy hormones, right? It gives that, the bliss, that's a chanting and engaging in this bliss, it's joy, it's bliss, the ocean of bliss. Where it's coming from? It produces that kind of hormone and it's balanced our everything, balanced. So if you do keep on doing this one, that's where then we come out from the stress and you know all those things. And they will see many times when devotee comes into the temple, they say, "Oh, you look so happy." You know, when they put tilak and dhoti and comes, you look so happy, wonderful. What is the secret? You know, so just say, chant the holy name. That's a secret. So that's just engage, just at least, you know, absorb some way or other in our life, discipline our life. So this is our real state of, real blissful state, not that so much outside in the material happiness. But this happiness is our within actually, not outside. We cannot buy the happiness from billions of dollars even we spend for it. We cannot buy the happiness. But happiness is within ourselves. All we need to do that to find and search and find and connect with. And so Lord is also full of joy, happiness. Lord is, you know, Satchita Ananda. Satchit Ananda. Ananda means full of bliss. So we are part of that Supreme Lord. But we say that, oh, we don't need this. Right? We are forgetting the Lord. We go ourselves and buy ourselves happiness from so much of spending, so much of things. But we don't get it. But Lord is seated in our heart. All we need to do is just look at Him and then realize Him and realize ourselves. Then what happens is all sprouts that all happiness within us. So that's our real state. That's why people goes to the meditation, people goes to for different yoga. For all that is for one purpose. To come to that state of, you know, blissful and joyful and happy state, or peaceful state. That's why, see, everybody is that in this world, you know, says that okay, peace and so many things like that. How many are peaceful in this world? It's a small thing, it can agitate him. A peaceful is actually state means that even any situations, any challenging situation, or agitated situation, is steady. So all this can happen only by this devotional practices. So this is a great, tremendous, this is a science, this is a spiritual science. Okay.
So today we started a new thing that at 6:20, right after the Kirtan, we have one round of chanting, congregational chanting. So whoever is interested, please come on time so that you can chant along with us going forward from next week onwards. Chanting is the most important thing to be in spiritual life. Srila Prabhupada says 95% of our spiritual life depends on chanting. So I have a lot of beads. Those who don't have beads, you can take it from me. Those who have, those are chanting 1 round, increase it to 2 rounds. Those are chanting 2, increase it to 4. Likewise, just keep increasing and at least come to the stage of 16 rounds. Thank you. Now we will have quickly sloka recitation from kids. Kids, we are eagerly waiting for you. Please. Yes.
Traikunya bisa aveda, netas kunya bhavachuna, nyatando neta sarvasta, yoga sema amavan. The Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna, be transcendental to all of them, be free from all authorities and anxiety, for gain and safety. Be established in the self.
You should say your name first, okay?
Yes.
We will be on.
Loudly.
Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtra Guno Bhavarjuna, Nirvanto Nitya Sattvasto, Niryoga Shema Atmavan. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be free from all dualities and anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self.
Yeah.
Venkata.
Venkata, say the chapter and the shloka number.
2.45. Tregunya Vishaya Veda, Nistregunyo Bhava Arjuna, Nirdvanto Nitya Sattvasto, Niryogakshema Atmavan. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities, anxiety, and for gain and safety, and be established in the self.
Yes. Okay, so what is your name? Lovely.
Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtraigunya Bhava Arjuna, Nirvanvo Nitya Sarvasva, Niryoga Shema Atmavan.
Very good. Who's next? Come.
She knows only the recitation.
It's okay.
Kima Kulubata. Sanjay.
Very good.
Come, Ushamata.
No, here. Come here. So tell your name first.
My name is Dr. Urja Shashi.
Doctor,
Okay, now you can. Yeah, sloka.
Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavastava Maharaka Kimur Mahartak what? Sanjaya.
Very good, doctor. Very good.
Big round of applause to doctor.
The Vedas mainly deal on the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be free from the dualities and anxieties for gain and safety. And be established in self.
What is your name? What is your name?
Oh, Isha. Draigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Vavarjuna Nidvantos Nityasattvasto Niryogakshema Atmavan. The Vedas primarily deal with the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna, be transcendental from them all. Be free from all dualities and anxieties for gain and strength, and be established in the self. Veda, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Arjuna, Nirjando Nityasattvasto, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan.
Wonderful. Once again, big round of applause to kids. Thank you very much. So now we have Prasada. Mahaprasade Govinde.
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Nama Brahmane Vaishnave.
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave.
Salpa Punyavatam Rajan.
Salpa Punyavatam Rajan.
Vishwaso Naiva Jayate.
Vishwaso Naiva Jayate.
Sharira Vidyajal.
Sharira Vidyajal.
Garendriya Tahekal.
Garendriya Tahekal.
Jiva Pele Vishesagare.
Jive Pale Vishesagare.
Taramati Jivahati.
Taramati Jivahati.
Lodhomai Sudurmati.
Lodhomai Sudurmati.
Take Jata Katina Samsare. Krishna Barodayamai.
Krishna Barodayamai.
Hari Bara Jiva Jai.
Hari Bara Jiva Jai.
Saprasadana Dilo Bhai.
Saprasadana Dilo Bhai.
Sayanamrita Pavo.
Sayanamrita Pavo.
Shri Radha Krishna Gunagao.
Shri Radha Krishna Gunagao.
Premada Ko Shri Chaitanya Nitai.
Premada Ko Shri Chaitanya Nitai.
Jai Nimai Jai Nitai.
Jai Nimai Jai Nitai.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Radha Krishna Mahaprasadam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.